All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to this episode of O365Eh. Continuing with our series on Copilot functionality. I suspect you'll hear a lot of Copilot in 2025. We're going to talk today about SharePoint agents, Copilot agents. So what are they? They're AI-powered agents in SharePoint that you can use to streamline workflows and foster collaboration. What's really cool is you can do this and get started with them in one click. So we're going to demo that. They're enabled on SharePoint sites and all the content in those SharePoint sites. So why is this significant? Obviously, SharePoint is a major collaboration application used right across many hundreds of thousands of organizations. I recently read that Microsoft claims that about 2 billion documents every day are added to the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. A large percentage of those are in SharePoint. So the ability to just quickly fire up a Copilot agent on that content to foster communication, answer questions on that content, summarize it is a pretty significant win from a productivity standpoint. So what I'm going to do right now is just share a sample of this functionality. And it is in a SharePoint site that has about 70 documents, which represent a new product that's being brought to market called Mark 8. So this content represents everything from product plans to go-to-market plans, marketing campaigns, all the digital assets for the website and for marketing, even some campaign sales data. So this is the SharePoint site right here. And creating a SharePoint agent is as simple as going under the new button here and clicking agent. So I do want to say that if you have new content in your SharePoint site, it'll take some time before the Copilot agent's able to consume all the content. It can vary based on the size of content, the complexity of the content. Based on our experience, it could be anywhere from 10 minutes to 2, 3, 4 hours. So all depends. But you can see here the new agent is available really quick. So we can create a new one. We can open it. And right away, we have our agent available to ask questions, to summarize this content. And this is sort of the default out-of-the-box agent. What you can do is hit edit at any time. And there's a bunch of things we can customize here. By default, the agent is grounded in all the documentation in the SharePoint site, but you can add additional sources here. You can add additional SharePoint sites. You can even customize it further in Copilot Studio. And you can also customize the behavior. So you can customize things like the welcome message. And what I really like is you can customize these starter prompts. So for example, with this Mark 8 project, you could do something like make the second prompt create a fact based on these resources, which is the documentation for a new marketing team member. Now, when someone launches this agent, that will be a recommended prompt for them. So those are some basic customizations. You come down to the agent here. The default experience is much like just a chat bot where we can ask it questions. So let's give it a go here. I have some sample questions here. So, well, let's try the default prompt I just added. So create a fact on these resources for a marketing team member. So this will go off. Combs through the relevant documents and comes up with a really nice frequently asked questions. As with most Copilot chatbot functionality too, it gives the references. So what's nice here, of course, one of the challenges with chatbots is making sure that the answers are correct and it's not hallucinating. So you can always click on these references. It'll take you to the specific SharePoint document, which gave that information. Um, some other things we can do. Let's say I'm not familiar with this product. I want to know what the elevator pitch is. It's able to comb through all these 70 plus documents, pick out the elevator pitch, which exists in one of the documents. Even if I'm new to the company, for example, what is the Mark 8 product? It's able to answer that. And if there's any information here that doesn't make sense, that is known on the web, you can also ask a question based on public websites. So that's it in a nutshell. You can see how useful this would be right off the bat if you have existing content across all your SharePoint sites. Beaver, Michael, or Dino, any questions about that?
Yeah, I think the first question that a lot of customers are going to ask is, how is this functionality lit up, and like what license is required in order to have the Copilot agent in SharePoint?
Yeah, so how's it lit up? I think any Microsoft 365 Copilot license holder has this functionality. And then if they don't have the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, I believe there's a pay-as-you-go option, and there's one other option. I'm not sure when you guys remember it.
It's just the two for now. Like there's if you're a Copilot license holder, or if your organization has the pay-as-you-go billing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think following on to that, what kind of content can the agent kind of consume? So from an Office document point of view, you have your Word, you have your PowerPoint and Excel. When you're dealing with Excel and Copilot, make sure your data is in tables within the Excel document. It supports the PDFs, text files, rich text files, some of the newer Microsoft 365 file formats like Fluid Framework and the Loop components. And then there's your web documents like HTML and some of the open document formats. So a lot of different document types that can be consumed by it. I know Microsoft is bringing images and recordings and other videos and OneNote files into this as well, but those are coming in the future.
Yeah, that's a good call out on the Excel data type. Of course, people have all sorts of data in Excel. I've been using this functionality with Excel files, and it can be hit or miss based on the structure, as you said, Michael, of the Excel data, but it's able to answer questions about data in columns. For example, here I could ask, what product categories do we have in sales data for? And you can see it's driven off of this Excel file, and there's a separate product category column, and it's able to actually pull all those values back. But if I asked it a specific question to extract a piece of data in the row, that doesn't seem to work yet. So you need it structured right for that to work.
I was going to comment, Kurt, that the document types, the PDFs seem to ingest or are accessible anyway from prompts almost immediately from the testing I've been doing. And as you recall, we tested M365 Copilot agents or Teams agents, and I kind of built the same agent in SharePoint because I wanted to know what was different. And they were almost identical. Like the PDFs were accessible right away. Interestingly, I had the option in an M365 Copilot agent to add more than 3 prompts. Like I could have, I think up to there was 6 or 8 prompts. There was also a toggle switch to allow whether you wanted it to open it up to the web or not. So a little bit different there. We didn't see that functionality here. Although I don't know if you want to bring it up again. If you edit the agent, you can see advanced customization in Copilot Studio is coming at the bottom there. So if you I guess that will allow you to access additional content on the web or third-party websites. It's saying that you can customize conversational workflows to guide how Copilot answers. So it looks like there's some enhanced functionality coming there, but for the most part, it seems to behave identically from the agents that you create in M365.
I think the go ahead.
I assume under the covers, it's all the same Copilot indexing and generally the same experience, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of like purpose-built Copilot Studio kind of workflows, right? So if you trigger it for the M365 chat or you do it from SharePoint, I think the big question is from an organization point of view, how do you prevent agents from being created in certain kind of canvases? Like, are you able to speak to that?
Yeah, so what Microsoft has done previously with these types of features, and they've done it with Copilot, is in the Microsoft 365 admin portal, when you go in under the licensing for a specific user, there's a section for apps. So they're treating this functionality like an app. So here's a screenshot of the app. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to share a new window here. Just let me... Okay, yeah, so this is the app settings for a specific user. So you can see you can go in and turn off specific Copilot functionality for this user. So for this functionality we're demoing, so Microsoft 365 Copilot for SharePoint, I believe that turns on and off the ability to create agents.
Yeah, we've already had some customers ask about like restricting access to Copilot Studio for specific people. So it's interesting, you know, all these are turned on by default. So some organizations are going to need to go through some governance planning now that these are exposed on a per user basis to see who gets what. And yeah.
Yeah, and these settings used to be available through PowerShell. I believe they still are. So that's a good way to customize it. Anything else you want to discuss in terms of compliance or security?
I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, everything is sort of contained with the agent is sort of contained within the SharePoint site itself. And then if you want, you can add the external sources to it. So.
Good stuff. Well, what I love about this, like I said, is you can just enable it with one click and then customize it. So I think with all the SharePoint content out there, this is a pretty good base level functionality to light up some productivity and collaboration.
Yeah, and then the agent's grounded in the data in this repository, so it's, you know, kind of siloed down. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Dino mentioned too, I'm looking forward to this functionality getting lit up, the advanced customization in Copilot Studio. So the true spirit of an agent is it can now autonomously take action. So I believe you'll be able to customize these in the future to do specific things, reach out to people, take actions based on the content, which would be pretty exciting.
Create a new statement of work based on, you know, maybe your templates, SharePoint or something like that.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, we'll leave it at that, and looking forward to doing some more Copilot agent Copilot sessions. Thanks, everybody.